from the magical city of Miami. Once again, it's time for Braves baseball. Beautiful weather here in sunny South Florida. Hopefully, Atlanta will keep the good times rolling. They're in town fresh off a 3-game sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they've dominated the Marlins, winning 12 out of 15 games head-to-head this year. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome to the ballpark. Pretty simple. If you want to go to the playoffs, pal, you pitch, you win. And right now, Atlanta's pitching is as good as it's been at any time this regular season.
And you've also got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. You said the Braves have beaten the Marlins 12 out of 15 times. You would have to think that if anything less than 3 out of 4 in the win column here against the Marlins would be viewed as somewhat of a disappointment. That's because the starting pitching has been really good this last turn through. It started with Mike Foltynewicz, 7 shutout innings. It continued with Anibal Sanchez. Bryce Wilson was awesome in his debut. How about Kevin Gausman and his outing up in Pittsburgh? Outstanding. And I thought Julio Teheran last night was as good as we've seen him all year. He had a good slider. He had a nice slow breaking ball. But that 1.57 ERA for those guys says a lot about why the Braves are having some success.
One name you're not seeing on that list is tonight's starter, Sean Newcomb, who's hit a rough patch, but perhaps the Marlins are the team that can help him get back on the beam tonight.
If they are, I mean, he's pitching great against them. He's 3-0 in 3 starts. That's certainly a good sign, but he's got to cut down on the walks. He's averaging 5 walks per 9 innings over the last couple of months. That needs to improve beginning tonight.
Marlins played the Yankees toe-to-toe. They split a 2-game series, played pretty good baseball, so Atlanta will have their hands full tonight at Marlins Park. Game 1 of 4. Ronald Acuna Jr. ready to lead the Atlanta attack, which leads the league in runs scored. What a story the Braves batsmen have been. We hope that continues tonight as well.
Closed, and we are getting ready to play ball. Game 1 between the Braves and the Marlins here at Marlins Park. And the Braves enter game 127 sitting at 71 and 55. They have a 2.5 game lead over the Phillies, and we know they just came off of that big sweep versus the Pirates, where pitching was the headline of that series. But all season long, the offense has come through, and their work is our landmark Always Best feature. Check this out. They've scored 605 runs this season. That is the most in the entire National League. They're also the fastest Braves team to reach 600-plus ones in over a decade. Well, why? Here's the expert, hitting coach Kevin Seitzer.
We've always been a gap-to-gap team, and one of the big things that we emphasize is not trying to be a hitter who steps up in big situations, but try and be the guy who stays the same all the time and just have good at bats. And we're big on grinding out at bats and not necessarily working pitch counts, but being disciplined and aggressive in the zone. And when we get 2 strikes, we're going to grind ABs to do everything we can to put the ball in play. And we're not a team that's content with striking out and saying that's okay. And I think that's resulted in a lot of runs.
Well, the Braves are hoping to grind out some more at-bats tonight and keep those runs coming so they can keep that winning streak alive. Sean Newcomb getting the ball in Game 1 tonight versus the Marlins. We're just minutes away from Ronald Acuna Jr. stepping up to the plate for first pitch. Game 1 between the Braves and the Marlins is next.
Mark on an 86-degree and very humid night for baseball here in South Florida. That is your Checkers weather report. The weather is hot, and so are the Braves, who just swept the Pittsburgh Pirates. What isn't hot right now, Joe, is Atlanta's offense. That's because the Pirates pitched very well in that 3-game series. In fact, for Brian Snitker, his Toyota starting lineup, batters 1 through 8 combined for 12 hits in that series against the Pirates, yet Atlanta won 2 out of the 3 games at PNC Park.
That's because the pitching was so doggone good. Starting pitching especially was just outstanding. Pitcher for the Fish tonight, Eliezer Hernandez, 23 years old, 6'1", 215 out of Venezuela. Home road splits, pretty drastic. He's pitched much better here at home. This is only his 6th start. He has worked against the Braves all out of relief, including coming in for Lorena the other day after the dust-up with Ronald Acuna Jr. He pitched very well. And in fact, against the Braves in 4 relief appearances, he's only given up 1 earned run in 8 innings. 87-92 fastball with a slider and a changeup.
We are told he will be on a around 60 pitch count for this game tonight. Then the rest of the action will be picked up by the Marlins bullpen. as Ronald Acuna steps in with his 20th home run under his belt, one of 14 players in history with 20 or more homers in his under age 21 year. Remarkable. And the first pitch well off the plate, and we are underway. The Braves at 71-55, as Kelsey said, 2.5 games in front of the Phillies. And that went in for a strike to even the count. With a win tonight, Atlanta would match their win total from 2017. And after tonight's game, there are 35 regular season games remaining.
That's quite a jump, wouldn't you say?
And a lot of these wins have come against the Marlins. This is the 16th game head-to-head. The Braves have won 12 of the first 15 head-to-head. And that one skipped up on the batter's box chalk, and we'll see a 2-2 pitch.
For Hernandez, his first start since June 26th. That was against Arizona.
Yang, foul. Wow, that was close. Right off the netting in front of the Marlins dugout.
There is no way anyone could have reacted to that. Thankfully, it hit the screen.
That is a quick bat, folks. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Acuna had a good cut. Ronald has done good work against these guys.
Well, he has. There's a bunch of guys in the lineup that have, but Acuna, 339 average, 6 homers, 17 driven in. Hit a changeup for a home run leading off the game last night.
And that missed inside for a full count. Now the 3-2 is lifted to center field and deep. Galloway goes back, and 403 feet away from home plate, he hauls it in. Anywhere else, that's a long homer for Acuna. Here, it's a deep fly out for the game's opening out.
Boy, he must have been playing really deep because he was camped under that.
So a long, loud out retires Acuna, and Ender Inciarte is the batter. Ender's batting second. He's 3 for 13 so far on the road trip. He too has wrecked the Marlins. 23 hits against Miami pitching, and that's in for a strike. That's up and away. It's ball 1, strike 1 for the Braves center fielder.
3 hits in Pittsburgh. He could have had more. He hit some line drives right at people.
This one's on the ground right side. Rojas feeds the pitcher covering. Nice play. And Ender's retired for the second out. Rojas has played all over the diamond for Miami. Shortstop, now first base. Freddie Freeman is the batter of all the Braves. He has been the most destructive. 8 homers and 16 RBIs against Miami pitching.
Yeah, in 15 games. Still leading the league in hitting.
He starts play tonight at 319, 155 hits, 20 homers, 78 RBIs. Number 78, the difference maker last night in Pittsburgh. A bases loaded sacrifice fly. You know, Chipper used to talk all the time about how as he got older and wiser and was in full command of his abilities on the baseball field, the game just slowed down for him. I thought Freddie's 8th inning at bat last night was a perfect example of that. You just knew he was going to put the ball in play and get that go-ahead run in.
Utter confidence. Seems like it slowed down for him about a year into his career.
Good point. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Lifted left side. And that into the sparse crowd behind the Miami dugout. And we'll do it again.
They had good crowds here for the Yankees. That stands to reason with Giancarlo Stanton coming back. 26,000 approximately for those 2 games each. We're not going to get to that number tonight.
That's a little low. And a full count. Markakis to follow, we hope, here in the first inning. And Freeman takes a walk with 2 outs. So Freddie's aboard. That is the 64th time he's been walked by an opposing pitcher. And Nick Markakis is coming up. Nick went 0 for 3 last night. He walked in the 8th inning. And so far on the road trip, 1 hit in 11 tries. That 1 hit, an RBI single in Game 1 in Pittsburgh, the only run scored in that game. That's upstairs, ball 1.
Yeah, stripe hatch for Nick has cost him some points on his batting average. Actually, he was leading the league in hitting, but he's just 7 for his last 42. By far the driest period for him this year.
That's in for a strike. It's 1-1.
I asked him last night if he thought he needed a day, meaning a day off. He said, no, I'm good.
I think we'd have been shocked if he'd said otherwise.
Right.
But that will be the challenge for the Braves, who have 3 off days left over these remaining 36 games. And that was close at first. A ball and a strike. And lifted toward left. Dean on the run near the line. He's going to track it down. And that will retire the side. Freddie Freeman's left aboard after a scoreless top of the first. Who better to do that against than the Marlins?
Absolutely. The big left-hander, 6'5", 255 out of Massachusetts. When he's had an extra day of rest or more, he's had 12 of those starts, and he's 6-2 with a very low ERA and a microscopic average against. That'll be that type of start tonight. His 4 keys to pitching success, well, he has definitely had a net cast over these Miami Marlins going 3-0 against them. He's only given up 2 earned runs in 18 innings to them. And with that extra day of rest, we just showed you the numbers. That should help him after a couple of back-to-back starts that were not Sean Newcomb-like.
And Rafael Ortega is the Miami leadoff man, and Newcomb's first pitch of the night is a 93-mile-an-hour strike. Yeah, last 2 starts, 21 hits in 9 1/3 innings for Sean. That's not like him. And that went in for strike 2 called. Newcomb looking for his 11th win. He's 10-6, a 3.73 ERA.
But he was 7-1 through his first 12 starts. 3 5 Good hook. This guy Ortega has gotten a lot more playing time because he's hitting. It started in Atlanta. He's 4 for 5 against the Braves, and he's now hit in 7 straight.
11 hits in those 7 games for the right fielder, who's pushed off the plate, and from 0-2 it's now gone full. This at times is the vexing issue for Sean. A lot of deep counts, and as you said, those bases on balls have been an issue. Don't want to walk this guy with Real Muto waiting next. The pitch, but that's exactly what he did. 4 straight missed after an 0-2 count. So here's how Don Mattingly lines up the 51-77 Marlins, who are 5-14 in August. Ortega, Real Muto, and Brian Anderson, a Rookie of the Year candidate, hitting third. Castro, Dean Rojas, J.T. Riddle, Isaac Galloway in center, and Eliezer Hernandez bats ninth on their Toyota starting 9. Marlins split 2 games against the Yankees. JT Realmuto went hitless against New York. 0 for 9 in that set here. Terrific numbers. And 16 homers, 1 shy of his career high of 17. He's hit 4 homers against the Braves this year.
He has not been able to figure out Sean Newcomb. Just 1 for 12 against him. Castro's in the cleanup spot. He's 0 for 8 against him.
Keeping those guys under control is why you go 3-0 against Miami. And that one belled high right there. A strike. Realmuto wasn't sure about it. It's 1-2. Shift on for JT. The pitch is lifted up to the left side, and Charlie Culberson getting the start at shortstop tonight. He'll camp out and make the play, and Realmuto now 1 for 13 against Newcomb. There's your first out. And here's Anderson. This young man's had a terrific rookie year. Marlins have put out a cheat sheet on all of his accomplishments in his first full season, but with Soto and Ronald Acuna Jr. having the years that they're having, as we said the last time we saw Miami, Anderson picked a bad year to try to be a Rookie of the Year winner. He's also moved from right field back to third base.
Yeah, I was just going to say that most of the year he's been out in right field, and that certainly was an accomplishment for him to adapt to that. And he made himself a good right fielder with one of the strongest throwing arms in the National League. But he's back in his natural spot at third base. That can only help them.
Marlins are without Martin Prado, who got hurt when we saw Miami up at SunTrust Park. He's out with a quad problem. And as you said, with the emergence of Ortega, he can play the outfield. Well, put Anderson at third base. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Anderson first among National League rookies in hits, runs, RBIs, and average.
6'2", 200-pounder. Some strikes at the top of the zone here early for Sean.
Anderson's accounted for almost 13% of all the Marlins hits and nearly 12% of all their RBIs. That's popped back toward us. It's still 2-2. So for a Marlins team whose slogan this year is just getting started, having a guy like Brian Anderson in the middle of their lineup playing every day either in the outfield or at third base is a nice piece to add to Real Muto as they try to build the big league club back up. Pitch number 16 coming for Newcomb. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Instead, it's to first. Anderson is a double play candidate. He's hit into 17 of them this year. That's the second most on their team. Miguel Rojas has hit into 20 double plays. The pitch. Missed badly with a hook. Full count.
I don't know about you, Chip, but it feels a lot warmer in here tonight than usual.
I don't think they've turned the air conditioning on. It is very humid outside and rather sticky inside. Payoff. Runner goes. Pitch popped up. Right side. Long run. Markakis. That'll flirt with the rafters, but find some blue seats out of play. And Anderson will swing again here. Marlins are 26 games under 500, but they've been pretty respectable at home. They're 29-36 on their home turf. They've had big problems within the division. Miami's 18 under 500 against the East. Most of the damage done to Don Mattingly's club by the Braves.
No doubt.
Almost double the road ERA as compared to home. Little pop. That's going to be caught by Tyler Flowers. And there's out number 2. Freeman came charging in on the pop-up. No chance to double up Ortega, who got back safely. And now Starlin Castro, the cleanup man, is up. So 2 pop-ups after the leadoff walk, and here's the Miami second baseman. Castro's had a solid year here in Miami. 141 hits. 5 of them came Sunday against the Nationals. That was that really season-defining loss for Washington.
That was a big day. And he has 10 homers, as you saw, 3 against Atlanta.
Out of play, foul, a strike. Nothing in 1. And Flowers a nice stop. And the count now even 1-1. Sean's not real sharp yet. 20 pitches, 11 strikes.
No pace. There's no rhythm yet. He got off to that quick start against Ortega, and then 4 straight balls. Looking for a little bit of rhythm and a groove to get into. Hasn't been able to command that pitch. He's missed with his breaking ball a lot. 2-1 the count. Yeah, and you mentioned the heat, the humidity. You can see Sean, perspiration
He's had trouble gripping the baseball when the weather's been very, very humid. 2-1. Lifted right side. Freeman will give chase over near the stands, and no chance to get that one. Now the big lefty's ready. Here it comes. High fly ball to left, and Acuna broke back. Now he's in a few steps, and he's there to make the play, and that retires the side. 23 pitches for Newcomb in the first inning. No score. Hitting the jackpot. The Braves are beating the teams they're supposed to beat. Marlins in full rebuild, and Joe Atlanta's taking advantage.
How about 7 runs a game? That'll get it done on most occasions, won't it? Great numbers with runners in scoring position. Swept the 4-game series in Atlanta just last week.
So let's see if the Braves bats can come alive here against Eliezer Hernandez in the second. He threw 21 pitches in the first inning. Again, he's expected to throw 50 to 60 for Miami here in game 1. Making a spot start for Jose Urena, who after beating the Nationals in his last start then dropped his appeal of his 6-game suspension. That suspension will end after Atlanta leaves town. Even had he not dropped the appeal, Don Mattingly said as much in Atlanta that they had no plans to pitch him against the Braves in this 4-game set.
And that was a wise choice.
That one's poked over third foul.
There's a lot of coverage here tonight wondering if there was going to be some fallout from that and if the Braves were going to retaliate, and you and I both agreed we haven't heard one word said about it by the Braves this week.
Swing and a miss by Camargo. That takes care of the Braves third baseman. 1 out.
And if there is anything there, they've played it close to the vest. They've kept it internally, and there's nothing expected to happen in this series.
And again, if you wanted so-called retribution, the guy that's responsible's not playing.
Yeah.
If you were to retaliate, you would be doing what your mom always used to say. You know, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Why plug somebody who had nothing to do with Urena's decision? That's number 1. And this one's lined and just foul. Rojas almost snagged that one off Ozzy's bat. A ball and a strike. But the bottom line is the Braves have so much more to play for and have so much more to lose if there was any kind of a brushback war initiated down here in Miami. So I'm with you. I don't think we'll see much of anything when it comes to that. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, they don't have time for it right now.
No.
They got bigger fish to fry, no pun intended. You know, if they wanted to pitch Urania tonight and bat him lead off, then okay.
Right. One ball, two strikes. Braves haven't been able to touch Hernandez yet. Gave up 2 hits in 3 innings up at SunTrust Park. And a full count. Charlie Culberson waits on deck. He'll look for his second at bat of the road trip. And Ozzie walks. That's the second Braves base runner, both on bases on balls. 23rd walk for Ozzie this year. And Hernandez will go back to the stretch. Swing and a drive by Culberson on the first pitch. Welcome back to the lineup. It's a long home run. And Atlanta strikes in the second. Home run number 10 for Charlie Culberson.
Talk about a quick turn on a ball and bat speed. His swing is so short, quick, and pretty. That ball flew out of here.
He had a little Dante Bichette action on the recoil there. The way he dropped the bat.
You would too.
That's where Dante hit him, right? Wow. So how about Brian Snitker? For the Braves shortstop, their last 4 hits, 3 of them have been homers. 2 by Dansby Swanson in Pittsburgh. A first pitch homer for Charlie Culberson here makes it 2-0. And the fans that are here are doing the tomahawk chop beyond the Braves dugout.
Another guy in double digits in homers.
Walk and a homer puts Atlanta in front. Now Tyler sprays one out of play. It's 0-2. Two homers for Charlie against the Marlins. 10 RBIs now. And now Flowers is hard at work. Can't imagine how tough this Braves lineup can be to pitch to. They don't strike out a lot. They will take a walk or 2, but they are not afraid to ambush pitches, and that's exactly what Culberson did. And now a swinging bunt that Real Muto will bare hand and make the play on. 2 outs for Sean Newcomb, who now enjoys a 2-0 lead. Sean's 2 for 37 at the plate, 26 strikeouts. That's the bad news. Good news is, with runners aboard, he's been able to lay down 7 sacrifices. And he takes a strike, 0-1. A 1-out walk and then a homer. The recipe for the Braves' first 2 runs.
Always nice to get out on top early, and especially for a pitcher who has scuffled a little bit, give Sean a little breathing room, and maybe he can settle into a nice groove in the bottom of the second.
Well, that great graphic you were talking about earlier about the Braves starting staff, I think over the last 5 starts they've given up 4 earned runs. A lot of that's because they've gotten early leads and have been able to settle in.
Just a great outing last night by Julio.
And a swing and a miss will retire the side. Albies walked. Culberson parked a 2-run homer above the bullpen in left. And after 1.5 innings in Miami, the Braves have struck first. It's 2-0 Atlanta in Game 1. It's fun to watch the scoreboard in a pennant race, and all of us on the team bus leaving Pittsburgh were watching this on our mobile devices. And the bus erupted when Zimmerman, after review, was credited with a game-ending homer. But the Braves weren't quite so excited today after Max Scherzer was shut out 2-0 by the Phillies.
Man, oh man, what a long home run by Odubel Herrera, and an outstanding pitching performance by Aaron Nola.
He's got to be in the Cy Young discussion, one would think.
Outstanding.
And you talk about a must-win for the Phillies after a devastating loss last night. They got it today, and now the ball is in the Braves' court. If they can win tonight, they'll maintain a 3-game lead in the division and push Washington 8.5 games back. Atlanta's off to a good start, leading 2-0.
And the Phillies had lost 4 in a row, so you're right. They needed that one today.
Austin Dean leads off against Sean Newcomb. Dean had a good year going down at AAA New Orleans, a .326 average, 9 homers. And he's swinging a hot bat of late. 2-0.
Made his debut in Atlanta and went 0 for 3, but he's hit a double and 2 homers since we last saw him.
Dean had 3 hits against the Yankees yesterday. The Marlins won 9-3 against New York, which is still without Aaron Judge. They've lost Aroldis Chapman to the DL with knee problems. And the Yankees are 9 games behind the Red Sox in the American League East. The pitch is ball 4. Another leadoff walk for Newcomb.
He's averaged 5 walks per 9 innings in the month of July and now into August. Way too many for a guy with his stuff.
And now he faces Rojas, who's in double digits in homers. He's figured out the launch angle thing. This man had 4 career homers in the big leagues before this season. 2 of his 10 have come against the Braves. Sean guided that one over for a first pitch strike. It's 0-1. Ground ball toward Charlie at short. He'll shove it to Ozzie for 1, and the throw to first. 2 for the price of 1 there. A double play, and as we told you, Rojas leads their club in double plays. That's number 21 he's wrapped into this year. 21 of 104 double plays by the Miami offense.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whew.
So here's JT Riddle, the Miami shortstop. He's hitting .233 for the year with 8 homers. And ball 1 misses high.
And he struggled against the Braves, but after the Marlins left Atlanta, he got hot. He's hitting 5 straight, 9 for 18. Double play will certainly help Sean and cut down on his pitch count this inning, provided he can get after Riddle here.
This will be his 10th pitch of the second, and it missed high. 2 balls and a strike. JT Riddle's out of Frankfort, Kentucky. And like the great Braves video coordinator Rob Smith, a Kentucky Wildcat. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2-0 Atlanta on a Charlie Culberson homer. The pitch. And another deep count. Perry Hill, the Marlins first base coach, will make a fan in the front row. Last time we saw Perry, he was in Atlanta, and he had a couple of lettuce leaves under his hat.
Yeah.
Trying to stay cool. Might need some more of those tonight. Pitch is caught on and missed, and that will retire the side. First strikeout for Newcomb. He has a shutout inning. Top of the Braves order. Will try to extend a 2-0 lead. Braves. Home run number 20 came up in Pittsburgh, and he has hit 6 of his 20 against the Marlins this year.
How about that OPS against him, too? He is wearing them out. 17 runs driven in 15 games. He's up there like Freddie with all those RBIs, more RBIs than games played against him.
And in any other ballpark, he might have hit his 21st home run his first time up. He hit a deep fly ball to center that Galloway caught a couple of steps shy of the center field fence. So Ronald's 0 for 1. And has a wicked cut at that one and faces an even count. Acuña's first inning home run was his 6th career leadoff home run and his first home run since Urania hit him up in Atlanta. All he's done leading off is hit 13 homers and scored 30 runs in about a month's worth of work.
Yeah. He's one shy on the leadoff home run marker for a year. Marquise Grissom has that with 7.
Swing and a high fly ball deep left. Break out the tape measure. That bugs for you. A long home run for Acuña above the Clevelander.
That's out there where the marker says 427. Looked like a hanging breaking ball. And in light of what happened in Atlanta, that had to be a very enjoyable trip around the bases. Hanging slider.
And he admired it. Why not? That's where Giancarlo Stanton used to hit him, folks. Wow. 2 long homers for the Braves. It's 3-0. And number 21 for Acuña. Tail of the tape, 431 feet. As I mentioned earlier, Ronald Acuña is one of 14 players who have hit 20 or more homers before their 21st birthday. 9 of those 14 players are in the Hall of Fame. I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves with that kind of talk, but when you think about the company that Acuña is in, it's absolutely unbelievable.
I think I read somewhere he and Albies are the first pair of teammates under the age of 22 to have 20 or more homers.
That's correct. Those 9 Hall of Famers: Ott, Robinson, Kaline, Matthews, Cepeda, Mantle, Griffey Jr., Ted Williams, and Willie Mays.
We just showed you those numbers that he has put up against the Marlins this year. Add to it, wearing them out.
There's a shot by Ender into right field. He's got a base hit.
He came in hitting over 400 against the Marlins. And his swing in recent days has been so good because his upper body stays back and his hands are really taking the bat to the ball. Foot down and just tremendous bat speed created by stopping that upper body.
That's 120 hits for Ender. This is his 123rd game. And a lot of that damage has come since the All-Star break. For the Brave center fielder, he's enjoying his time hitting second behind Acuña and in front of Freeman. Who wouldn't like hitting there?
Right.
So a quick visit to the mound for Hernandez, who now stares down Freddie Freeman. Back-to-back hits start the 3rd. Freddie walked in the opening inning. Freddie Freeman, another Brave who's enjoyed the Marlins. That's our Greatness Made Here feature presented by Synovus.
It's almost like piling on, but that's why the Braves are 12-3 against them. Wearing them out, 7 runs a game.
Ground ball into the shift. One there, and a nice stretch by Rojas. And that will complete the double play. Riddle was the only man who could have made that attempt at second base as he was pulled to the first base side of the pillow. And he was able to outrun Inciarte and turn the 6-3 double play. So Acuna with 20 hits against Miami. Ender has 24. Freeman has 27. Markakis and Camargo have 19. Albies and Culberson have 13 apiece. Yep, that's how you get 7 runs a game. Atlanta with 3 runs and 3 hits. And off the plate, ball 1, strike 1. A mammoth homer by Acuna led off the 3rd inning. .431 feet. And as we told you, Hernandez on a around 60 pitch count tonight. That one's guided down the line and just foul. It's called foul, and Markakis was hustling around first, letting the umpires umpire. He'll be called back with a 2-2 count.
That was a tough call. Fielding Culberth is the third base umpire. Oh, that's chalk. That is chalk or paint coming up.
Yeah, Braves going to challenge this one.
I think they'll like the result.
And in this case, then it's up to the umpires to place the runner if it's overturned. Markakis would have certainly had a double. Don't know if he would have been able to stretch that into a triple, assuming, of course, that this challenge is upheld for the Braves. Right down the line.
You can see the paint flying up in the air. Shouldn't take too long. Fans just saw it on the big screen.
Yep. It doesn't have to hit the line flush. If any portion of that chalk flies up, it's a fair ball. And the verdict is in. And it's foul.
What? Come on. That replay we just showed, it's flying in the air. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
I don't believe this. That is absolute.
Careful. Pitch.
No, I mean, come on. What more proof do you need than to watch this and see the paint fly?
The ball hit the line. I mean, it flat out hit the line.
That big white chunk is flying.
Yeah. What if he finishes the year with 199 hits?
Oh, my goodness. Who are you people?
And that's high, ball 3. I'm speechless, and you know how hard that is for me to be. what is the point of a system that can't even get the obvious calls right? And now a pop up. Nick went to a knee, and Rojas in foul ground will handle that rafter scraper. And he was robbed of a double, but they couldn't take away Acuna's hit. It was 431 feet away over the bullpen and almost out of the ballpark. 3-0 Atlanta after 2.5.
Galloway set to lead off for the Braves. Now this guy just made his debut actually in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and he was about 10 years, 974 minor league games, and one night of Atlanta rush hour away from that. Galloway, you heard that right, had played 974 minor league games before he got that call. Now that Tuesday was a 7:35 game, and he was told to head to the airport at just 1:30 that day. And there was an hour-and-a-half rain delay that night. He needed all of it. He didn't get to the field until the 5th or the 6th inning after sitting in Atlanta rush hour, and he was listening to the game on the way over. He was able to pinch it in the 9th inning. And that's where he picked up his first big league hit and his first big league at bat. A few weeks later, he's still here batting .320, guys.
Love stories like that, Kelsey. And for the Marlins, who are looking for anybody from their organization to come up and perform well, they've certainly gotten that out of Galloway. Hitting over 300, playing center field for them. Part of a dramatically different looking outfield for Don Mattingly this year for the Marlins. Ozuna, Yelich, and Stanton are playing elsewhere.
It's a little different looking, isn't it?
They've got Dean, Galloway, and Ortega in 2018.
A little different.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
This is Dan Straley pinch hitting for Hernandez, who went 3 innings and was on a pitch count, gave up 3 runs. Straley will be the Marlins starter here tomorrow night. And he shoots one down the line, foul, and into the seats. Why use a pitcher here? Well, very simply, with the Marlins down a man with the suspension of Urania and 7 men in their bullpen, they only have 4 extra players available. So go ahead and use the starting pitcher in this spot, concede the out, save a bench player for later, and hope that Dietrich, Sierra, Rivera, or Brian Holiday will have a chance to do something in the late innings. 2-2 pitch, and Straley is retired. There's strikeout number 2 for Sean. 2 up, 2 down. He could use an easy inning.
Yeah, double play helped him last inning. Now he's got an extra run to work with. No reason not to be aggressive here.
Hernandez went 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 homers, 2 strikeouts. As Rafael Ortega bats with bases empty and 2 out. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. 3 runs, 3 hits with an asterisk for the Braves. 0s across for Miami. Markakis should have had the 4th hit, but New York foiled us again.
Good breaking ball.
It's coming around. 1-2. Braves have beaten the Marlins 6 consecutive times. Newcomb is trying to win his 4th game against Miami this year, something a Braves pitcher has accomplished only twice. 2 Braves have won 4 games against the Marlins in a single year. Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine, the other 2.
2 other starting pitchers. There's a relief pitcher on that list too.
And we'll tell you who that is after the pitch is called strike 3. And that will end the Miami 3rd inning. 3-0 Atlanta. We go to the 4th. Garcia, left-hander, coming on to face Camargo, Albies, and Charlie Culberson. Again, Joe, this is another area where the suspension of Urania really puts Miami behind the 8 ball. They're a man short in their pitching staff. They have 7 relievers tonight, and Garcia, the 2nd reliever to pitch, because Eliezer Hernandez was pressed into emergency duty as the starting pitcher in Urania's place tonight.
You see his work there, 20 games. The Braves have seen him a lot. Low to mid-90s fastball. He can rush it up there around 95 at times. Slider and a change.
So yeah, Sean Newcomb in his quest to go 4-0 for Atlanta, trying to join Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux as starters to win 4 games against Miami in a single year. Right, there is a reliever that can make that claim too. It's Arodys Vizcaíno. Last year, Arodys went 4-0 and saved 3 games in 9 appearances against the Marlins. And then misses down low to Camargo, batting right-handed now, and an 0-for-1 night.
Before tonight, 2 of his last 4 appearances have come against Atlanta. 3 total innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a homer. It's his 15th career appearance against the Braves.
Good off-speed pitch had Camargo fooled. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Garcia 2 wins. Both have come against the Yankees this year. And a swing and a miss retires Camargo, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And that'll bring up Ozzie Albies. Ozzie drew a base on balls his first time to the plate. And that is a rather rare occurrence. And he moved his feet with that first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. The last time Ozzie walked in a game was August 10th against the Brewers in a 10-1 Atlanta victory. First win for Kevin Gausman as a Brave. He walked 3 times in that game. The oddity of that is, prior to August 10th, Ozzie's previous last walk was July 2nd. So he has walked 4 times since July 2nd this year. It is all the way up to 23 bases on balls. That one's bounced up the middle, a base hit. So Ozzie's second hit of the road trip. He's aboard with 1 man out. And for Ozzie, that's hit number 141 on the year. 3rd most on the club. Charlie Culberson's seen 1 pitch, and he's made the most of it. A 2-run homer back in the 2nd. And took 1 there for a called strike. One of the many things that have been so fun about this Atlanta club this year are all the contributions by so many different men. All the Brave starters, all the youngsters who have come in and won their debut games. The work at the end of the bullpen with Vizcaino hurt with a bad shoulder. Where would Atlanta be without Charlie Culberson and his great work for the Braves this year?
And walk-off homers.
Walk-off homers.
Well, tonight he hit a long homer himself up over the bullpen. Acuna took it to another level, literally.
Yes, he did. One ball, 2 strikes. Charlie was asking for time. Was it granted? Did the first base umpire say time? The pitch was swung and missed.
I thought he was arguing it foul tipped it.
So apparently not. Culberson's going to be struck out. Was he asking for time? Not with his hands, he wasn't. What was Garcia pointing at? That was weird.
It was.
So that's the 2nd out of the inning. Tyler Flowers is the hitter. Runner at first. And a little low.
Yeah, I just assumed that it was, he thought he foul tipped it because it did hit the dirt. And I don't know what was going on at first base, if they were making an appeal or not.
Brian Snitker still pleading his case with Chris Conroy behind the plate, who just took his mask off and said that's enough. As the 1-0 pitch heads home, and it's downstairs, ball 2. This is one of those nights that if you hear anything from the dugout, you've got a great chance to hear it. It's a very small, very quiet crowd. That's hammered into left by Tyler on a 2-0 pitch. Ozzie will stop at second, and at the least Atlanta will get Newcomb up there with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Snaps an 0 for 14 for Tyler. Put a good swing on that.
So Garcia in the soup in the 4th inning. Newcomb struck out in his lone at bat. He's up again here in the 4th. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Braves. 0s across for Miami so far.
Tyler Flowers has worn out left-handed pitching this year. Came into the game hitting .404 against them in 47 at bats. 4 of his 5 homers. Just improved on that.
Newcomb takes a ball low. 1-0 your count. Now it's even.
Almost got it, Sean.
Hey, Braves pitchers have been pretty good of late.
You know it.
Gossman had a couple of good at bats up in Pittsburgh. One's off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Foltynewicz put it in play at home against Colorado and scored a run. Leo Tehran had an RBI hit against the Rockies. Gossman had a hit against Miami up in Atlanta. Now it's Sean's turn, perhaps, but Riddle will flip to second, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Real Muto leads off for the Marlins. The Braves enjoy a 3-0 lead.
Ronald Acuna Jr. hitting his 21st home run of the season. It went 432 feet. This is the ball right here, 105 miles per hour off the bat. Chip and Joe, Ronald Acuna Jr. has officially left his mark here at Marlins Park. You can see the dent in the wall and the chip paint from where this ball hit. Our friend John was able to pick it up. He got a cool souvenir. The guys up here are asking if he'll sell it, and he's saying absolutely not.
Wow, I'm surprised that ball is still round as hard as he hit it, both off the bat and off that concrete wall 431 feet away.
Yeah, that is Giancarlo Stanton territory up there.
So Newcomb back to work. He's got the 2, 3, and 4 hitters up. He enjoys a 3-0 advantage. Sean has thrown 49 pitches in his first 3 innings. Realmuto popped up. Anderson popped out. Castro flied out. That's the trio coming up for Don Mattingly's club, which will head to Boston after this series ends. They got a date with the Red Sox at Fenway Park. And the pitch bends in beautifully for a strike. Sean's walked 2 leadoff men, but that's it. Nothing's come of those blemishes for his outing. He's got 3 strikeouts. And upstairs evens the count.
The funny thing about these last 2 starts that have been such a struggle for him, they came on the heels of 2 awesome starts. The near no-hitter, and then the great start up in Washington where he matched Max Scherzer pitch for pitch. Those were 2 outstanding efforts.
Good cut by Realmuto. It's 2-2. One of the big intriguing questions for the Marlins is, will they be able to sign JT Realmuto to a long-term contract? But there are 2 sides to that equation, I would think. The pitch. One, a long-term deal would probably guarantee Realmuto more money than he ever could imagine. The other side of that is, how good will the Marlins be the first 3 or 4 years of that deal, should he get one of great length? 2 balls, 2 strikes. And strike 3. There's the breaking ball. He has really figured that pitch out. And that's 4 strikeouts for Mr. Newcomb. Good start to the 4th inning.
He made 2 good breaking ball pitches to him. The first one to start the inning that he took for a strike, and this one that he took a little off and dropped it in there.
Anderson popped out to Tyler Flowers in the opening inning.
And another.
A little slower on that one. It's 0-2. After this series, the Braves have a great homestand coming up. Beginning Tuesday night, we've got some revenge in mind with the Tampa Bay Rays. They'll be in for a 2-game series. The Cubs come back for a makeup game. The Pirates over the weekend, then the Boston Red Sox as we move into September. A fly down the line and out of play. With a good series here, the Braves have a chance to come home in first place. And hopefully we'll see big crowds at SunTrust Park for the last long homestand for the Braves. One homestand left after the one coming up. A ball and 2 strikes. Got through Flowers and to the backstop, even count 2-2. Tampa Bay has been one of the big surprises in baseball this year. Tampa Bay Rays are 66-61. If they were playing in the Braves division, they'd be 5.5 games out of first. Instead, in the AL East, they're 22.5 behind Boston. Yeah,
it's a real shame. I mean, for them, And when you think about the Yankees having a good year too, and how many are they out?
9. They've won 79 games.
Yeah.
They'd be in first in the Central, in the West, and they'd be in first in every other National League division.
Well,
Swinging butt. That ball died in front of the plate. Flowers took a swipe at Anderson's back. He gave up. He thought Tyler tagged him. The home plate umpire said he didn't, and the throw to first officially retires Anderson for the second out.
Boy, that must really be soft right out there in front of home plate. Chris Conley doing a little ground repair.
Oh.
Right on the beveled edge of the plate and just stopped.
So 2 outs for Castro, who flied out to left. Newcomb gets that on a swing and miss. 0-1.
Yeah, that was just a straight change and a good one. Great spot. What you'd like to think at this point is that the Marlins had their chance against him in the first inning and really in the second too, and he walked the leadoff man each inning. Wasn't sharp. That double play got him going though in the second.
Now he's mixing and matching, and the Marlins are having trouble making solid contact. 1-2 strikes. Top of the order coming up in the Atlanta 5th.
Starting a lot of hitters with that slow curveball has helped him get a first pitch strike. 10 out of 13.
Another swinging punt. That one's fair. Castro didn't run. He's tagged out, and that soft dirt in front of home plate saves Newcomb a couple of hitters.
That one just stopped on home plate.
Unbelievable. Roster updates and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. Here's the man of the hour, Ronald Acuna Jr., a 431-foot homer in the 3rd inning for Atlanta. And Harlan Garcia delivers ball 1. Acuna has 7 homers and 18 RBIs against the Fish. He has no more than 3 homers against any other opponent. And that is why when the Braves were talking to Miami in the offseason about guys like JT Realmuto, well, they were asking for anybody's top prospect. There's a shot to right, and Ortega with a fine diving play in right robs Acuna of extra bases. That was a pretty play on a hard hit ball.
When we saw Ortega in Atlanta, he was playing left field. Hard hit, sinking away from him. Nice catch.
Giancarlo Stanton doesn't make that play, I don't think. Here's Ender. He's 1 for 2. 3-0 Atlanta here in game 1. The pitch is off the plate, ball 1.
People in Miami would like to have seen if he could.
Right. Philly beat Washington 2-0. Giants beat the Mets 3-1. Madison Bumgarner outdueled Jacob deGrom. Bumgarner had a run-scoring hit, the only earned run allowed by deGrom in the game today. Colorado won a series against San Diego in dramatic fashion today.
Yeah, Ian Desmond with a walk-off homer in the 9th.
And the Rockies added a name from their recent past to their 25-man roster as well. Matt Holliday back in the big leagues. Swing and a drive by Ender. That one is launched deep into the night and into the bullpen. Third homer of the night for Atlanta. A solo shot by Ender against a left-handed pitcher. Oh, is that a sight for sore eyes? His 8th of the year, 50 RBIs, and it's 4-0.
Ball is really jumping off his bat. Belt high, but again, he's not getting out on that front foot like he was. He's staying back. Right off the message board above the bullpen.
His first home run since August 5th at New York against Corey Oswalt. And his 5th extra base hit of the year against a left-handed pitcher. Well, if he can join the ranks of Freeman and Markakis in hammering those lefties, look out. It's downstairs. 2 balls and a strike for Freddie. Ender hit lefties at a .291 clip last year.
And he's up to 50 RBIs.
I'm told that is Ender's first home run against a left-handed pitcher since July 19th of last year when he homered off Mike Montgomery of the Cubs. And Freeman takes a walk. Second time he's reached on a base on balls. And that'll bring up Nick Markakis, who is 0 for 2 with a double. Or at least he should be credited with a double. He's flied out, popped out. Nick hit a sizzling line drive down the left field line that looked like it kicked up a lot of white paint and chalk. It was ruled foul. Braves challenged the call, and New York confirmed that the call on the field was correct. The pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. And now Realmuto out for a visit, and so is the Marlins pitching coach.
Juan Nieves out to try to get him back on the tracks.
Yeah, homer to Inciarte, a walk to Freeman, a left-hand hitter. Now 2-0 to another lefty, Markakis. That patch on the right uniform sleeve of the Marlins. They celebrate their 25th anniversary season back in the days when the Marlins' primary color was teal.
Yeah. And known as the Florida Marlins.
That's right. And played at Joe Robbie Pro Player Stadium, Landshark Stadium. There are a whole host of names for the outdoor venue that's now the home of the Dolphins. As that's in for a strike. Now they play in this beautiful facility on the side of the old Orange Bowl. And a drastic improvement because of the tropical weather conditions they have in this part of the world. The roof makes sure the games are played. And that one's ricocheted off Garcia's leg. That's going to be a very painful base hit for the Miami pitcher. And Markakis is at first with an infield hit. And let's see where this got Garcia. That must have hurt. It was hit awfully hard.
Got him square too on the right leg. Oh, he was planted on that leg. Couldn't get it out of the way. Hit the shin right above the ankle. Coming out.
Yep, he can't continue. So this one goes from bad to worse for the Marlins. Again, a club already short a pitcher because of Ureña's suspension. Hernandez went 3. Garcia's gone an inning and a third, and he has to limp off after Markakis hit him with a comebacker here in the 5th inning.
Atlanta Braves Baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer, the Georgia Lottery, and by the All-South Highway Safety Team. The All-South Highway Safety Team reminds you to play it safe by never mixing drinking and driving.
Braves have played long ball in Miami tonight. They've hit 3 home runs. Hernandez and Garcia, the first 2 Marlins pitchers. Garcia leaves because of injury. Drew Rucinski is going to come on and have as much time as he needs to get ready. as the Braves continue to bat in the 5th inning. An Ender homer has the Braves' 4th run. We'll tell you about Drew Rucinski when we come right back. The 5th inning is sponsored by Audi Q5. Atlanta's got 4, looking for number 5 in the run column, with Johan Camargo ready to greet Drew Rucinski, who has faced the Braves twice and has given up 3 runs in 2 innings and a third, Joe.
Yeah, and a walk. One of the games he appeared in was the second game of that doubleheader in Atlanta. This will be his 20th game overall. He'll be given whatever time he needs to loosen up. 6 walks, 17 strikeouts, and 23+ innings. Good fastball, slider, change, and a curve. Mostly sinker, slider, change.
He's spent some time on the disabled list with a groin strain. Was originally brought up from AAA New Orleans on June the 3rd. So on a hot, steamy night in Miami, one would think it wouldn't take him long to get loose, but nobody was up and throwing in their bullpen after the Braves offensive onslaught began with Ender's long home run into the bullpen in right field. The Braves, Joe, taking care of business, doing exactly what they needed to do after that Pittsburgh game. And again, these are professional players. They know the stakes, they know the odds. But last night was not an easy night. It wasn't an easy game to win, number 1. And number 2, it was a very late night for this Braves ball club. They arrived to the team hotel around 3 o'clock in the morning this morning. And with the scarcity of off days left, it's another remarkable outing for Brian Snitker's ball club, coming out, taking care of business, and doing what needs to be done against a Marlins club that they have dominated the first 15 games head-to-head.
They had 21 hits in the 3 games in Pittsburgh, and 10 of them came in one game, the game they won 1-0. Last night, they won the game 2-1 and only had 3 hits.
Right.
So tonight, with the long balls, they have kind of taken care of that in terms of getting on the board early. But they're doing whatever they have to do to win. It's great.
So while Rucinski continues to warm up, we'll remind you that Labor Day weekend at SunTrust Park is full of fun activities for the family. The game on Sunday, September 2nd, is a 5:05 first pitch. You can stick around after the game to watch Despicable Me 3 on the Plaza screen. Then come back on Monday the 3rd for a 1:05 Labor Day first pitch against the Red Sox. For a full list of activities, visit Braves.com/Labor Day. So it's Rucinski versus Camargo. Johan's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Camargo is the first batter for either club to hit with a man in scoring position. All of Atlanta's offense has been the result of a home run. 2 on, 1 out. And that's bounced off the screen in front of the Braves dugout. No balls at a strike. Fred Stone very courageously manned his post, didn't bail out of the way as that ball was headed his way. There's a base hit by Camargo, softly hit into right field, and Freddie Freeman's going to come home. Markakis on his way to third. Johan to second. He hustles with a double, and the Braves add to their lead. It is 5-0. That run belongs to Garcia. And for Johan, his 60th run batted in.
Yeah, I love it. His RBI total is climbing. Fastball down the middle. Nice, easy, quick swing. Hooked it. He winds up with a double.
21 of those for Camargo, and the infield comes in for Miami now, as Albies is the batter. Ozzy's walked, scored, and single. And he jumps all over the first pitch and bounces that into the seat. Strike one. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Braves. No runs, no hits for Miami. We are in the 5th inning. Ozzy broke his bat, picks out a new one, and he'll go back to work here. No balls, 2 strikes for the Braves second baseman.
Fly ball here, get you another one. He's been hitting the ball in the air a lot.
And that's a pitch that he swung at quite a bit. Took it that time though, which is a good sign. 1-2. It's a foul ball.
Yeah, hit his bat twice. May have hit his hand, I guess.
Sure did. He's taken some punishment the last couple of days on foul balls. Last night a ball off the screen hit him in the batting helmet. Now the 1-2. See that forkball grip for Ruzinski. Classic split-fingered pitch grip.
Shaking off 4 signs, so he's got something else in the tank.
And Ozzy swings and misses. Was that the splitter?
Might have been.
Darted down and away from the left-hand hitting Brave, and that's the second out of the inning. First man retired by Ruzinski.
This was set up nicely by that pitch in that made him jackknife out of the way. That did not appear to be a split. Looked like fastball.
Had a lot of movement to it. So 2 in, 2 on, 2 out. Charlie Culberson with a 2-run homer. And that's off the plate. Ball 1. Braves trying to win game number 72. That was their win total from last year. Fly ball toward right center. Ortega on the run is going to get there, however, and that will retire the side. Johan Camargo with an RBI double. Ender with a solo homer. It's 5-0 Atlanta. Tuesday, September 4th. First 20,000 fans at SunTrust get a Boston Braves Babe Ruth bobblehead. That's presented by Gas South. Get your tickets today at braves.com/tickets. So Sean Newcomb has a 5-run lead now. He has set down 8 in a row. He has yet to give up a hit to Miami. In fact, he's allowed just 2 base runners. They were leadoff walks in the first and the second inning. Dean, Rojas, and Riddle, the trio coming up for Miami. Sean had a nice long rest after the prolonged offensive inning and the injury to Harlan Garcia. The first one splits the plate for a called strike. Right off his hands. Good pitch. Dean was sawed off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Dean perhaps the first of several guys who might get called up from their minor league system just for a look-see in September, kind of an audition, see what Don Mattingly might have to work with next year.
Fly ball foul, out of play. Still 3-2. Well, they've got some players that are playing well down at New Orleans. Their AAA club has won 14 of its last 17 games. First baseman named Peter O'Brien down there. He's got a 10-game hitting streak, 15 RBIs and 10 runs scored. I'll bet they'll see him in September. To center. Ender on the run. Still going. That ball is off the wall. That's the first Miami hit. Dean on his way to second with a stand-up double. That ball was well struck. His second double. And that's the third leadoff man to reach for the Marlins tonight.
That jumped off his bat. Fastball down and away. Smart play by Ender, who realized he wasn't going to get there, to play it off the wall and hold him to 2.
So Rojas, the batter, he wrapped into a second inning double play. So he's 0 for 1. The 21st double play Rojas has bounced into. Ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. JT Riddle waits on deck.
Nice job there not to try to get too complicated. Behind 2-0, you've got a nice lead. Throw a strike. Split the plate with it, and he did.
I'd like to see another one from Sean here. 2 balls and a strike. And that's hammered. I think that's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
One never knows.
So let's see what Sean and Tyler Flowers come up with here to try to retire Rojas. And he got it with a high fastball. So Newcomb with 5 strikeouts, sent down 9 of 10 hitters. Rojas is 0 for 2, and here's Riddle.
Very nice comeback from 2-0.
JT Riddle was the first man Newcomb struck out tonight. Ball 1. Couldn't lay off. Well, that's a pitch the Braves used so well against the Pirates up at PNC Park.
The whole series. Upstairs. Check swings. Bad swings.
One ball, 1 strike. Line drive to right, and Markakis with a waist-high catch. Riddle hit it on the button, but Nick was there. 2 outs. And Galloway's the batter with Dean still at second base.
Just talking about the number of hits the Braves had in that series at Pittsburgh. They didn't need a whole lot because the pitching was great and the defense was just as great.
That graphic, I believe, showed the Braves allowed 4 earned runs by their starters in the 5 games of late. That is terrific in a stretch drive. That's allowed the Braves to move to 2.5 games in front of the Phillies, who won earlier today, as we told you. They beat Max Scherzer in Washington.
It was a really nice bounce back by the Phillies after that walk-off loss last night to come back and beat Scherzer.
Newcomb ready. Here comes his 2-0 pitch. And Galloway didn't get it. Swinging strike.
Back in the days when the Braves were in the National League West and they were in those pennant races with the Dodgers, later with the Giants, it was really cool for them to play at home and put a win on the board, put pressure on those teams out west who hadn't played yet.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Well, right now, if the season were to end, the Phillies would be on the outside looking in. As that's over the inside corner. Speaking of outside looking in, that's what Newcomb did. And Galloway took strike 3 for Sean's 6th strikeout of the game. We head to the 6th. All Atlanta in game 1. Okay, Rebecca, thanks. Told you the Rockies are a dangerous club. Colorado now tied with St. Louis and Milwaukee in the wild card race. They don't have many games against losing teams left. They took care of business at home and host the Cardinals starting tomorrow night. First pitch from Javi Guerra is grounded by Tyler Flowers to second, and that's how the top of the 6th inning starts here at Marlins Park.
Javi Guerra was in 2 games in Atlanta recently and pitched well, an inning and 2/3 total, no hits, runs, or walks. 92 to 94 fastball. That was a good sinker to Flowers there. Slider and a curve. Yeah, that game today for Colorado was huge to not lose that series to San Diego.
So they're a game behind Arizona in the Western race. That's going to be a fun one to follow out west. The Dodgers, though, sinking. They're 4.5 back and in 3rd place out there. Kenley Jansen got hit hard again as Newcomb's down on strikes, 2 outs, and back to the top of the order. And Ronald Acuna Jr. has already hit a home run. He's our Zaxby's indescribably good player. We told you about his great work against Miami.
Yeah, 7 homers in 7 games is pretty salty with 13 RBIs, almost a 2-point OPS. Two for 11 with a homer in Pittsburgh.
We keep writing down numbers and stats and great accomplishments for Acuna that are just eye-popping. And as we told you, when you talk about 14 players in the history of the game to have 20 or more homers in a season before they're 21, that's crazy. He's only the 2nd rookie in franchise history with 20 homers and 10 steals. The other guy to do that was David Justice in his Rookie of the Year season in 1990. He's the 5th player in franchise history with 20 homers in his debut season, and the first since Evan Gattis hit 21 homers 5 years ago. Bob Horner, Eddie Matthews, and Wally Berger are the others in that category. And he got hit again, slams the helmet down. He's getting a little tired of it. And this time Real Muto's out to try to keep the peace. Ronald Acuna Jr. just got hit by a pitch with 2 outs, and the Braves fans are booing Guerra.
Guerra was running the ball in on him, kept going in, and got too far in.
Backhand.
Yeah, in the inside of his wrist.
That's the 5th time Acuna's been hit by a pitch. Let's see if Ronald can make Guerra pay on the base pass. He's got a good lead. And the first one fouled away by Ender, strike 1.
Third hit batter by Guerra.
This one's grounded toward Riddle at short, and he'll step on the bag, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Guerra's due first in the 6th. 5-0 Atlanta. Cable and Brian Jordan are standing by in our Atlanta studios. It'll be a happy stretch to talk about if Newcomb can keep mowing down these Marlins. He leads 5-0, trying to go 4-0 against the Fish here in 2018. And he'll face Yadiel Rivera, who bats for Javi Guerra here. And ball one, up and away. 6 strikeouts for Newcomb. He's given up 1 hit and a couple of walks. Sean's pitched behind in the count quite a bit tonight, but he's rallied to strike out those half-dozen Marlins hitters. And is now up to 90 pitches, 52 strikes. And he jammed Rivera there, and that's into the seats out of play, 2-2.
He did a really nice job of settling in after he looked out of sync in the first inning. Took a long time to get through the first. Walked the leadoff guy in the second. Got a double play, and then he was off to the races.
And a nice comeback to get Rivera after falling behind 2-0. That's 7 strikeouts for Sean. And 130 strikeouts for him this year in 140 innings and a third. So we go back to the top. Here's Ortega. He's walked and struck out. 9 strikeouts is Newcomb's career high. He did that this year in Colorado on April the 8th. In a game that might have been the omen of what was to be a breakout year for Newcomb.
Agreed.
9 strikeouts, no walks, 89 pitches in Denver. Braves won that game 4-0. And this one slicing down the line and fair. Acuna cuts it off with a backhand. And Ortega held to a long single. Nice play by Ronald to get to that ball quickly. And that's the second Miami hit. And Ortega now with an 8-game hitting streak.
He's making a good impression. Great throw by Acuna.
Realmuto's popped up, struck out. He's 0 for 2 and is 1 for 14 against Sean head to head. You hold this guy to 1 for 14, you are pitching great. Yeah, pushed him off the plate. Ball 1. Two have missed inside.
Kind of like the 2 to Acuna that kept going in farther and farther.
That would split the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Sean still has good velocity. That one popped the glove at 95. And then he pulled a string. Nice pitch. 2-2.
Struck him out looking on that slow curve. Wonder if they'll go to that again.
Put right on by JT Realmuto, who strikes out for the second time. That's 8 strikeouts for Sean. And Brian Anderson's the hitter with a man at first.
Four-seamer just sizzling in there right by him.
Anderson is 0 for 2. He hasn't gotten the ball past the circle of dirt. Popped out to the catcher, and he had a swinging bunt that died right in front of the plate.
The circle of dirt. Hard to escape.
Yes, it is. 1 ball, no strikes. Oh, that's up and in. And Anderson got drilled. And now a warning is going to be issued. The Braves, Ronald Acuna got hit. Now Anderson gets hit. And so I would assume, at least for tonight, that score is even.
I would not have expected that one to be allowed to escape. Yeah, it's a good one. Back of the arm. Move on. Now in the inning.
So he does escape this circle of dirt, but with a big bruise. And now Castro's the batter. He's 0 for 2.
Well, anytime you escape the circle of dirt, it is painful.
5-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. .46 RBIs for Castro. He's been an all-star timer too with the Cubs and the Yankees. He's had a nice season here in Miami. 141 hits, 24 infield hits, 5 hits against the Nationals on Sunday.
He's changed his tune, hadn't he? He wants to stay.
Yeah. Early on, he wasn't too sure about that, nor was Real Muto. As that sails high, 3-0. Dean's waiting next. Somebody up in the Atlanta pen with a 5-run advantage. 2 strikeouts, a single, and a hit batsman. As Miami threatening. And right there, a strike. 3-1. Now the bullpen phone rings. The pitch is high, and they're loaded. So Miami has a threat here with 2 outs. And Dean's the hitter. And he's been their hottest hitter. He's 7 for his last 16 with 3 RBIs. Chuck Hernandez, former pitching coach here in Miami, now with the Braves, of course, will give Sean a breather here and let the bullpen get a few extra tosses.
Visit your nearest Advance Auto Parts store to get the quality parts you want from people that know a lot about them.
I know there are a lot of veteran retired pitchers out there watching the game tonight who probably would look upon the plunking of Anderson, if it was intentional, as a payback. To not let that interfere with the way Sean was pitching. Don't let that be a distraction. You know, everybody can keep score in the dugout and remind you of another time where you could get your payback if that's what you wanted. But don't let it affect the outcome of the game, especially when you're pitching so well and with so much on the line for the Braves. Will he get some high fives in the dugout? Pats on the back for it, of course. But there, as we keep saying, bigger things at stake here for Atlanta.
So 3 on, 2 outs for Austin Dean, the Miami left fielder. And first pitch missed high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Getting a little tired. He's missing up.
Ortega, Anderson, and Castro, the Marlins runners. And run off his knuckles and back to the screen.
Since Dean got that first hit, leading off the 5th inning. He's only thrown a first pitch strike to one batter out of the last 9.
That's forced his pitch count up. As you see, it's approaching 110. He's at 108 now. And all the strikeouts has piled up the pitches. And now he's one more strike away from escaping this 6th inning mess. A ball and 2 strikes. And here it is. Very late swing indeed. Somehow fought that off.
Funny swing indeed.
He picked up his first major league hit August 17th. A home run against the Nationals. That was pretty cool. As Joe mentioned, he's got a couple of them. 5 RBIs for the year in the major leagues. And the 1-2 pitch is hit on the ground towards second. Ozzy's got it. Race to the bag. Freeman wins that battle. And Newcomb pitches out of the 6th inning and strands 3 Marlins to preserve a shutout. 5-0. We go to the 7th. Sean Newcomb toweling off after 6 innings of shutout ball in Miami tonight. And if you've ever wanted to know what it's like to be in the big leagues with the Brave for a Day experience, you'll find out. You'll step into the visiting locker room Thursday, September 27th at SunTrust Park and button up your personalized Braves uniform, lace up your cleats, and take the field like your favorite players. Sign up for the Brave for a Day experience online at braves.com/brave-for-a-day.
That's cool.
So is Newcomb's pitching line. 64 strikes out of 111 tosses tonight. And Miami will go to the bullpen again. Yadiel Rivera will stay in the game and play left field. Brett Graves is on for his 12th outing of the season. Dean will be taken down as the last batter retired by Newcomb.
Knocked around a little bit in his 11 appearances.
And Freddie drives one in the air towards center, and Galloway's got it on the first pitch. 1 up, 1 down. So Newcomb in line for his 11th win. If the Braves can get 9 more outs. Nick Markakis is the batter. That's downstairs, ball 1. Nick picked up an infield hit in the 5th inning. It was the hit that popped Harlan Garcia on the ankle and forced him to limp off the diamond. Nick is 1 for 3. Again, not to belabor the point, but probably should have a second hit.
Absolutely, he should.
It was in the 3rd inning, a liner down the left field line that appeared to kick up some chalk or paint, but it was ruled foul, and on review, New York said the ball was foul. As this one is inside the line, fair into the right field corner. So Nick's going to have a double tonight. Another multi-hit game for Markakis. A single and a double in his 4 trips, and Atlanta looks to add to a 5-0 lead. So justice served for Markakis.
Slow breaking ball left in the middle of the plate. Nick doesn't miss many of those.
An astounding 49th multi-hit game for the Braves right fielder. He leads the National League in doubles with 38, and now with 2 hits has 156 of those. What a year. And here's Camargo. Johan drove in a run in the 5th. And he's going to try to drive one in here. A base hit to right field. Ortega comes up cleanly and throwing. The ball is not cut off. And no advance. Camargo jumps on a first pitch, and Atlanta's got runners at the corners. And Atlanta now has 10 hits. Multi-hit game for Camargo.
Good night for Johan. Good idea by Ron Washington to hold Markakis. He waved him until he got around third just to give himself a little more time to watch the throw, and then held him up wisely.
So a fly ball means a run for Ozzie, who's pushed off the plate.
He had a similar opportunity back in the 5th inning. 2nd and 3rd, and 1 out, but he struck out.
And these are, as you've said several times over the last 2 weeks, playoff type at bats. You get chances like this in postseason play, you've got to get them in.
You sure do. I was talking to Kevin Seitzer about that after last night's game, because all those games in Pittsburgh were so close and every at bat was so important, and he just reiterated that this is great experience for these younger players.
Obviously, you can't get playoff experience until you get there. For so many of these kids, this is the closest approximation you can have. As always, now a 2-1 count. And again, pushed off the plate. Ball 3. Charlie Culberson's on deck. 5-0 Atlanta. We're in the 7th. Rebecca and BJ will have the stretch for you, hopefully after another big offensive inning for the Braves. We're gunning for their 7th straight win over Miami. Back up the middle. Riddle will step on the bag, throw to first. It's in time. It's a double play. And the Braves are out of luck in the 7th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. It's the stretch. It's presented by Synovus, the bank of here. Here's Rebecca and BJ. Okay, gang, thank you very much. Chip and Joe back with you from Miami. 5-0 Braves have the lead. Sean Newcomb's out after 6 innings of shutout ball. He gave up just a couple of Miami hits. Luke Jackson will try to gobble up a few innings and help the Braves salt this one away here in Game 1 in Miami.
This will be his first appearance on the road trip. 4.40 ERA. Last time out was against Colorado, and he took the loss on the 18th.
Rojas leads off. He's 0 for 2 and didn't get it. A swing and a miss. Big Bender missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Game 2 tomorrow night. Mike Fultonevich and Dan Straley will hook up. Braves live at 6:30. First pitch at 7:10 here from Marlins Park. That one found the mark. Good pitch. Straley's 4-6 with a 4.60 ERA. Mike Fultonevich 10-7, a 2.72 earned run average. Mike will make his 25th start of the year.
Coming off a brilliant outing his last time.
He pitched 7 innings of shutout ball against Colorado at home. Braves led it 3-0 in that one. Colorado got 3 in the 9th, 2 in the 10th to shock Atlanta up at SunTrust Park. 2-2 to Rojas. It's 3-2. We're really hoping that Sean Newcomb would have a bounce back start tonight. He has certainly done that. 6 shutout innings, and Jackson takes care of Rojas, who swings and misses. He's had a rough night. A double play and 2 swinging strikeouts. And there's a good start to the home 7th. 1 up, 1 down.
Boy, that was a hard breaking ball. Went straight down.
Here's Riddle. He is struck out and lined out. Doesn't the fun of Players Weekend start tomorrow?
I believe so. Uniforms with nicknames on the back.
One ball, no strikes. Riddle pops it up. Foul ground and a leaning try, and Camargo has just enough room right in front of Craig Minervini. Fine sideline reporter for Fox Sports Florida. Craig held his ground, so did Camargo.
Well, the Marlins are going to say, hey, help us out here. You know, he's reaching in, and
it's a good point.
You can reach up and block that thing.
Well, Craig's a sideline reporter for a reason. He's got very bad hands. So
got a clipboard.
Exactly. 2 outs. Craig's a great guy. Now he's saying he lost it in the rafters. Here's Galloway, 2 outs and off the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Galloway's lined out and struck out, so he's 0 for 2. In the air to center. Ender on the run, still coming. He can't get there. So a blue pit for Galloway, and the spacious dimensions of Marlins Park helped Isaac there. That's the 3rd Miami hit, keeps the inning alive.
Yeah, in some ways especially in center field. It's a lot like Coors Field because it's so deep to center field and a lot of ground to cover, both in front of you and behind you.
So here's Yadiel Rivera. Rivera came on in the 6th inning and struck out. He was the 7th victim for Sean Newcomb tonight, 7 of 8. And Sean struck out, one shy of his career high. Bouncing ball toward third, fair ball. Camargo Fields fires a strike to first in time, and that retires the side. We're through 7 in Miami. The Braves continue to roll on the road. It's 5-0.
Inning, and you heard Chip and Joe just mention it. Tomorrow starts the 2nd annual Players Weekend, where the players are able to wear colorful, non-traditional jerseys. Now, these are really based off of some Little League jerseys, and they don't get their last name on the back. They get to put a nickname on the back, and they also get to have all this custom designed gear that they want to wear. And during BP and during the post-game interviews, they can wear a t-shirt that has any charity or cause that they want to represent. But some nicknames we're going to see tomorrow for the Braves. Acuna is Sabanero Soy. Ozzie is Poochie. We'll explain those tomorrow, but I think Game Ender for Inciarte might win that nickname battle, guys.
That'd be a good one. Kelsey, what would your nickname on the back of your shirt be?
Ooh.
You thought about that?
I actually was thinking about that earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Lil Wing. Or Nugget. I guess Nugget would be more fitting. What would yours be, Chip? Joe?
Champion.
Oh, tennis champion?
Yep. 2-time state champion.
Oh, you are such a great tennis player. Joe, what would yours be? Is he just laughing?
Well, or grimacing. I'm not sure which. First the 0-2 pitch. It's lined into right. Good night for Charlie. A 2-hit game for him.
I think mine would be Spoiler.
Oh. Yeah, we've got a big TV crew tennis match set up here in Miami. Gretchen Caney and I are the champions of Pennsylvania, the champions of Florida so far, but Joe and Paul Bird and Brian Woodrum, Drew Jenkins are coming after the title here in Miami. As Tyler Flowers is the batter and swings and misses. Strike one. Yeah, that'll be kind of fun this weekend. Chance for the players to show some of their personality.
Yeah, it is fun.
Eleven hits for the Braves, 2 by Culberson, who leads at first. He had a 2-run homer early that got the home run parade started for Atlanta. Charlie, Acuna, and Inciarte have all gone deep. Mendez gave up 3 runs. Garcia gave up 2 runs. Newcomb and Jackson have given up no runs for the Braves tonight. And the pitch is Sky toward left center. Galloway on the run is going to get there. And there's the first out. And Adam Duvall is going to grab a bat and pinch hit.
Former Marlin Justin Bohr, who was traded to Philadelphia recently, has found himself on the disabled list. He's got an oblique strain. And I believe they're headed to Toronto.
That's correct.
And will have a DH, and they were certainly hoping to have him in the lineup as such.
Obviously, each player, well, first the swinging bunt by Duvall, and the throw to first is going to be in time to retire him for the second out. Each player's injury history is unique in and of itself, but I wonder, Joe, if not playing every day made an injury like that more likely for a guy like Justin Bohr, who was an everyday player here and was limited to mostly pinch hit appearances for the Phillies.
I don't know, Chip. The oblique injuries are so weird and how they can occur, and seemingly on a very innocent swing, just like Tyler Flowers at the beginning of the year when his popped.
Yeah,
good point. I think of Nate McLouth, who went on the disabled list with an oblique injury when he took a pitch on a check swing.
Ground ball on the first pitch into the shift, and the throw by Riddle to first is in time. And that ends the 8th inning. All Atlanta 5-0. Top of the Marlins order coming up. Partner when the Braves hit home runs, and they hit a bunch of them in Game 1 tonight.
First pitch Charlie Culberson saw. He hit a long homer, and then Acuna did him one better, hitting one up there in the beer tank. Ender launched one. That was a no-doubter. Braves broke out with some long balls tonight. Good to see.
And as Kelsey told us earlier tonight, the Braves lead the National League in runs scored. They've added to that total. A 5-0 advantage as Jesse Biddle will come on for the top of the order. Ortega, Realmuto, and Anderson will be the hitters for the Fish. More good work by Atlanta's starters, dating back to the final game of that series against the Rockies at home and counting tonight's game. The Braves have given up a grand total of 6 runs in their last 5 games. That'll work. And only 3 Miami hits.
That's even better. Only 3 allowed last night to Pittsburgh. Jesse's been in 1 game on this road trip.
He just shattered the bat of Ortega. Good start to the inning, 1 out.
And it was an interesting outing because the one batter he faced got a base hit off of him. And that was the play where Ender Inciarte gunned out Echeverria at the plate.
That tells you how rough things have been for the Pirates offensively. They finally got a hit with a runner in scoring position, and the runner was thrown out at the plate.
Yeah.
To preserve a 1-0 Atlanta win. Here's Real Muto. JT 0 for 9 against the Yankees, 0 for 3 so far in the series against the Braves. And a slurve is over for a strike. It's 0-1. Jesse's got the leg kick working tonight. You just never know.
I asked him about that. I said, just when I think I've got you figured out, you cross me up. And he said, well, I will use the leg kick with nobody on base, but I've decided with runners on base to prevent any big jumps or what have you, I've gone back to the slide step. So it all depends on whether or not there's anybody on base.
Talked earlier about the myriad contributions by so many this year for the Braves. You have to add Jesse Biddle to that list. He's been an outstanding find for Atlanta. Former #1 pick who's battled injury and has made his way back to the Braves bullpen and has been a key contributor. He's got a lot of big outs late in games for Atlanta. He's not just a mop-up guy. He's done real good work. Multi-inning relief appearances 12 times for Biddle this year. Throws hard. And in those multi-inning outings, he's got a 1.08 ERA. Sharply hit into the shift. Ozzie with a backhand from the outfield grass. A laser to first in time. Good play. Good positioning. And Real Muto robbed of a hit. 15 years ago, that's probably a single.
You're probably right. Maybe even last year.
Yeah, good point.
Nice strong throw by the former shortstop, too.
So that's 4-3 with a line under it if you're scoring at home. And the Marlins, 1 through 4 hitters tonight, have gone 1 for 11. Anderson's 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch by Newcomb last time up. And he got plunked again on a breaking ball, and he fires the bat toward the dugout in frustration. He and Flowers are talking about that. And a little tap on the chest protector. I'm sure that was accidental.
Yeah, but he didn't make a big effort to get out of the way either.
No. Back knee?
No, it's front knee. He got his foot down and then just took it.
So Biddle plunks Anderson, and Castro's the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Rays have hit 2 batters in the game. Actually, they've hit 1 batter twice, is the best way to put it. And a swing and a miss. Castro trying to launch one, didn't get it. No balls and a strike. They just announced the attendance here in Miami, and to Derek Jeter and his organization's credit, they are counting the actual number of people in the ballpark. Tonight's attendance, 6,587. After 2 games, over 26,000 against the Yankees. No balls, 2 strikes. Anderson, a short lead at first. The pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Biddle retires the Marlins second baseman on a check swing strikeout, and we are headed for the ninth. 5-0 Atlanta.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
All right, at 6:30 on Fox Sports South, red-hot Mike Foltynewicz takes the hill against Miami. Mike is 3-0 with a 1.35 ERA in his last 4 starts. And like Sean Newcomb, is undefeated against the Marlins this year. It's the Friday Night Showdown, and it's presented by Kaiser Permanente.
Dan Straley will pitch for the Marlins, and he has at times given the Braves fits. I believe the Braves beat him the last time they saw him, but before that, it was tough going. In fact, this year he's 2-1.
How about Ender Inciarte's big night tonight, partner? He's got 2 hits and 4 tries. He hit a home run in the 5th inning against a left-handed reliever. His first homer against a lefty in over a year.
We started talking about Ender right after the All-Star break and what a high batting average he had for his career in the second half. And I love what he told Kelsey in one of the post-game interviews about how he said, well, I wasn't, you know, just hanging around waiting for the second half to start.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
But it is really in keeping with what he's done his whole career in the second half, and he's playing great baseball.
And look, let's be honest, if you had your choice, wouldn't you rather have your player be hot in the second half if you have a chance to go to postseason play?
If I'm a player, I would much rather it be that way too.
So he's aboard with a base on balls. Freddie's walked twice, scored once, and is 0 for 2. That one's pulled foul.
It falls into that category of what have you done for me lately. You know, if there's somebody, and I'm not talking about Ender, but any player that's struggling and maybe even hitting 200. Well, you hit 300 in the second half. Nobody even remembers the first half.
But if you go the other way, then it was, well, what happened, or he had a bad year, and then you go into spring training saying, well, he
really fell off,
all that stuff, right? It is all about perception and timing. And the one constant for Ender has been his outstanding defense. To his credit, when he has had a spell offensively, you wouldn't know it by the way he's played center field.
Well, his swing is really sharp right now, and credit to him and the hard work he puts in with Jose Castro and Kevin Seitzer to get going again.
A ball and 2 strikes. And lifted out of play by Freddie. That's out of reach. Minnesota's winning tonight, beating Oakland 5-3. The A's have been one of the game's great stories in 2018. They start action tonight, one game behind the Astros in the AL West.
Boston, by the way, won tonight, their 90th win. We're in August.
So they are playing .695 baseball. They have 35 games left.
I think the Yankees are the next highest win total in their own division, and that's 79.
Houston's got the third most wins at 77.
I love that note you had earlier. Did you say if the Braves win tonight, they'll match last year's total?
If they win tonight, they'll go to 72 wins. There's a high fly ball towards center, but Galloway is going to have a play. And he puts the squeeze on that. And that is out number one. Los Bravos Day is Sunday, September 16th, brought to you by Georgia Power. With the Los Bravos ticket package, you'll get a game ticket and custom flag to help you show your team pride from the stands. Your Braves will be wearing their special Los Bravos jerseys. Go to Braves.com and get your tickets today. So the Red Sox, with 35 games left, play .700 winning percentage baseball the rest of the way. They have a chance for 115 wins.
It's a good team that's had a great year, and they've had their own share of injury problems. Most notable right now, Chris Sale.
He's out with a shoulder.
Nick should already have a 3-hit night, but a chance to make it official right here.
That's taken low, ball two. Braves at the moment have a 2.5 game lead over the Phillies, who already won. If Atlanta can hold off Miami tonight, they'll take a 3-game lead into tomorrow's play. As this one's hit high in the air toward right. Ortega toward right center is going to make the play. That's the second out. And for Atlanta, with the luxury of the lead, they just try to hold serve, because winning accomplishes a couple of things. They stay 3 games ahead of the Phillies, but they take another date off the calendar. Remember, Braves do not face the Phillies until the final 2 weekends of the regular season. A home series in Atlanta and the final 3 games of the year at Citizens Bank Park. And even that series has a very interesting twist, as Camargo has another hit. His third tonight. Ender will go first to third, and he'll stand there with 2 out. Before the Braves play the Phillies, the final 3 games of the year, Philadelphia has to play in Colorado. Think about that, with the pitching staff, their bullpen, all the stress of pitching those high leverage games against another potential playoff club in Coors Field, then the cross country flight, while the Braves play in New York before they get to Citizens Bank Park. That could be very interesting.
Love what Camargo's done tonight. He was 0 for his last 7 coming in. He struck out his first 2 times up tonight, and since then 3 straight hits, including a double.
22 hits now against the Marlins this year. So it's an exciting late August for the Braves. High fly ball, that's hit hard toward right field. At the wall, plenty of room for Ortega right in front of the LED message board. And that sends us to the bottom of the 9th inning, with Atlanta going for a shutout win. history brought to you by Geico. 1 year ago, A.J. Minter made his major league debut with a scoreless ninth inning with a couple of strikeouts against the Seattle Mariners. Clean-shaven A.J. Minter back then.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Sure does. And with the Braves playing so well and other guys stepping up at the bullpen, that's allowed a little bit of a balky back to get healed for A.J. Minter. Not a save situation here, so he'll get an extra night's rest if Jesse Biddle can sew this one up in the bottom of the ninth inning. Brian Holiday will pinch hit and takes downstairs ball one. Braves did a nice job for Miami. 3 innings of 4-hit shutout ball in relief. And a strike. It's even for Mr. Holiday.
You know what happens now, though? The game is another area where it's changed, and you can't help it if you're the front office, given you know how shorthanded their bullpen is. But 3 innings, 4 hits. He's not going to be available tomorrow. Probably not the next day. It might earn him a ticket back to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And get a fresh arm up here. But
Yeah,
he did a nice job.
Yeah, great job. You saved the bullpen. Go have a hurricane.
See you next week.
Yeah. When rosters expand. The pitch is launched out of play, foul. A ball and 2 strikes. That's turned on and launched out of play, foul. And into the second deck. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Fultonevich and Straley tomorrow night. Saturday, Anibal Sanchez and Wei Yin Chen, who's very tough on his home mound. That'll be a national telecast on FS1. And we're back with you for Gossman and Lopez Sunday afternoon, the finale on the road trip. That's out of play. We'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes.
Well, we highlighted the starting pitching at the start of our broadcast tonight. Sean Newcomb certainly earned a place among those guys with what everybody's been doing. And once again, I think you have to go back to extra rest and how much it's really helping these guys having an extra day or so, because the numbers don't lie. Everybody's numbers, the team numbers, are really good with extra rest.
You know, I wonder next year, no matter how this season finishes up, the Braves organizationally have so much pitching depth. If those numbers bear out in this era where it is so number and results driven, if a 6-man rotation, or that extra day of rest I should say, is so beneficial, the Braves seem to have the organizational depth to go out and send 6 different guys out there in rotation. Would that be something that the Braves utilize in 2019 and beyond?
On a permanent basis, I don't know, but based on how they've used it this year, absolutely.
And there are some guys who don't like 5 days of rest. They're ready to go every 5th day, not every 6th. And so sometimes you have to tailor your rotation to keep those guys, as it were, on their normal turn.
Braves at 37-20 when their starters have 5 or more days of rest. 37-20 with a 3.43 ERA.
Rojas with a line drive with 1 out. He's finally aboard. And that's Miami's 4th hit.
On regular rest, they are 14-13 with a little higher ERA of 3.77. The numbers don't lie.
Right, they don't lie. And the challenge that Atlanta's going to have, assuming everybody's healthy and ready to go, there are going to be way too many starters for few spots in rotation, which is a fantastic problem to have.
Never have enough.
Nope. Here's Riddle. See if he can be doubled up, and let's salt this one away for the Braves, who are trying to go 4-0 on the road trip. All the angst and disappointment of the sweep at home at the hands of the Rockies is certainly out of the way after that great series against the Pirates. Line drive into left. Acuna's coming on. Diving try. Can't get it. It's behind him, but no further advance. So back-to-back hits for Miami.
Almost got it. Pinned it on the ground. Couldn't come up with it. Riddle extends his hitting streak to 6 games.
And Isaac Galloway is going to be the hitter. He has one of Miami's hits. They don't have many. Five hits for the Marlins, 4 of them singles. They've got 1 runner to third base and a handful of guys to second, but nobody's touched the plate yet.
When you look back at that Pirates series, Braves shut them out in the first game 1-0. They shut him out for 8 innings in the second game, and then Polanco hit the home run to spoil the shutout. And last night they gave up 1 run on a walk, a ground out that moved the runner into scoring position, and he scored on the single by Moran. So there was only 1 run that really scored in that series, manufactured, I'll say, without the home run by Polanco.
2 quick strikes to Galloway. The pitch. He swung and missed, and Biddle, and the Braves are an out away. Jesse's got his 3rd. And here's Yadiel Rivera, the final hope.
Jesse's ERA keeps going down. It's down around 2.5 now.
Two on, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Another good hook. Braves are going for their 10th shutout victory of the year. Miami has lost 9 games via a shutout. And now Atlanta's a strike away. Biddle's painting all of a sudden.
Doing a good job of keeping the ball down, too, down around the knees.
No balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. He strikes out the side of the 9th inning, and Atlanta's road trip continues its perfect roll. 4-0 are the Braves in Pittsburgh and Miami. 5-0 is your final. Sean Newcomb picks up the win. Ronald Acuna Jr. has had another big night. Joe, a tape measure home run. It's our StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Well, it was up there again in the Giancarlo Stanton area